Coming up in today's video, we're going to be talking about an AEW star who has re-signed with the company. Also, new AEW trademarks reveal potential big plans. And we got to talk about another WWE announcement. It's all coming up right here on the Ango Show. If you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring that bell. This way you never miss a video on the channel. I want to kick things off with some AEW trademarks. And honestly, I thought this was a very interesting story because these trademarks are actually quite interesting. Now, of course, as always with trademarks, it doesn't mean that they're going to be utilized, but you have to wonder what is the plan here. AEW filed these 4 trademarks with the USPTO, which is the Patent and Trademark Office of the United States. And they filed for the following names: AEW Firestorm, AEW Blitz, AEW Tidal Wave, and AEW Fire. Now, all of these applications were filed with an identical goods and services description, which is basically the standard for a wrestling television show. So this says here, entertainment in the nature of wrestling contests, entertainment services in the nature of live professional wrestling performances, entertainment services in the nature of production, and so forth. Now, obviously, we don't know exactly what this is going to be used for, but I'm going to assume, just knowing how AEW does business, it's very similar to NXT, where you could watch on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and then there's a special episode of Dynamite. And we have seen this a couple times where, Spring Breakthrough or, they have these names. Obviously, you guys know what I'm talking about. But as you can imagine, AEW Firestorm, it could be like a special episode of Dynamite or Collision. AEW Blitz, I actually think this is a cool name. It is so generic, but this is one of those cool names. And I think if you are AEW, if you're going to do AEW Blitz, you probably should do it in Jacksonville at Daly's Place, and mainly due to the fact that Tony Khan and his father also own the Jacksonville Jaguars. So to me, I think that's very interesting. I thought AEW Fire was a very interesting trademark as well, but that is largely due to the fact that DPW, Deadlock Pro Wrestling, is no longer around. They're taking a break for the foreseeable future. And anybody who knows Deadlock Pro Wrestling also had the name DPW Fire. So I don't know what AEW is doing with that, but I thought that might be a coincidence considering Deadlock came out and then revealed moving forward they're taking a break for the foreseeable future, and there doesn't seem to be a plan for them returning. So obviously that is something to consider, but I think this is pretty cool. Hopefully these trademarks lead to something special. That brings us to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. WWE has officially announced Elimination Chamber. This time it's taking place in Chicago, but not in a stadium. In fact, it's taking place at the United Center. And WWE revealed it will be taking place on February 28th. Now, we had talked about this before, about a month or two ago. There was rumors that this is where WWE would be bringing the event, but we didn't get confirmation on that until now. And obviously with WWE, you can see what they have planned here. Obviously, Chicago, CM Punk, front and center. I think you can't forget about Rhea Ripley being on the poster. Seems like this is who WWE is basically telling you is the priority on TV. And obviously you see Braun Breaker and Tiffany Stratton and Cody and Stephanie Vakir and Becky and Jay and Io Sky. Like, this is a pretty sweet thing for WWE. And quite frankly, when it comes to WWE doing Elimination Chamber in a arena versus a stadium, that's maybe where I question things just a little bit. Mostly due to the fact that I think WWE, in all honesty, they're being kind of tricky here. WWE will tell you that they got this international expansion. They got this, they got this whole stadium thing that they're doing and making these pay-per-views bigger and larger than life. Then there's the report of WWE going away from Vince McMahon ideas. And then they bring this event to Chicago. Not Canada, not Montreal, right? Not Perth, Australia. Like, I'm kind of confused. I have no problem with WWE doing it in a arena. And I have no problem WWE doing this in the United States. I just feel like WWE has kind of been telling us for a while that Elimination Chamber is a much more grand event. That's where I think maybe I'm a little bit confused, because clearly the United Center is not capable of doing a 50,000 capacity show. Obviously, with WWE's announcement here, like I said, it's pretty telling who they have on the promotional stuff. This is obviously a big deal for WWE, bringing their events to Chicago. CM Punk, last time they were in Chicago, WWE continues to kill it there. Like, this is, to me, it's just a no-brainer. It's good business, but it's just, yeah, it's what WWE does. I don't know if this is an example of WWE playing it safe. And perhaps maybe it is. Maybe this is WWE playing it safe. But I do think to a certain extent that's okay. It's just with all the ticket sales going down, you have to wonder if WWE is slightly concerned. That brings us to our final topic. An AEW star has re-signed with the company. And before I even tell you guys who it is, I just want to be clear on one thing. People are going to come and go. People are going to stay with AEW. People are going to leave AEW. Not every person is going to be the most important person on TV, but when these signings do happen and when people re-sign, you have to think about the value. An MVP could be very, very valuable to AEW. Now, he joined the company in 2024 at AEW Grand Slam, and obviously we saw the Hurt Business, the Hurt Syndicate come together, which was obviously a really big deal. He has actually come out and revealed that he will be in AEW for quite a while in his current role, and then also mentions in this new interview that he could be doing some more stuff possibly behind the scenes, which is something that he's pretty adamant about wanting to do. Now, he did not say anything regarding this new deal, but he spoke with Adventure Gamers and basically made it pretty clear. He re-signed with the company. Now, we don't know if this is a 1-year deal, a 3-year deal, a 5-year deal. We have yet to figure that out within the company. Obviously, with the way AEW does things of that nature, it just kind of becomes slightly confusing. And obviously, WWE has to figure things out. AEW has to figure things out, because I think when you look at the long-term plans, that's most important. I think for AEW in this particular case, MVP is somebody who's going to provide a lot of wealth of knowledge to talent. So do I have interest with MVP on TV? No, not necessarily. I mean, the Hurt Syndicate's cool, but I think the value is more so of him being behind the scenes. And because we don't know how AEW does things long-term with contracts and things of that nature, that's obviously where some of the confusion is. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.